Hey lovelies! So as a lot of you already know, I have got a brand new little one coming to join our family in just a few weeks. And in preparation of this one's arrival, I thought it would be a good idea to start making some food in advance that I can freeze for when the baby arrives. In honor of that, today I'm sharing one of my very favorite freezer-friendly breakfast ideas that also happens to be completely delicious. It's these amazing turkey sausage and cheddar breakfast biscuits. And if you can believe it, these are actually totally low carb and keto friendly. I know, right? They taste absolutely amazing and they're really easy to prepare. Now to get started, we are going to be mixing up our wet ingredients. In my bowl, I have got 4 eggs, and to that I'm going to be adding some sour cream. You could swap in some Greek yogurt if you wanted to. And I'm also going to add just a little bit of melted butter. So we're gonna get lots of nice richness in this recipe. It's gonna be so tasty. And then I just wanna get in here with my whisk and mix this all up until it's really well combined. Okay, there you go. Our wet ingredients are combined. Time to get to work on our dry ingredients. Now the base for these amazing biscuits is actually almond flour. So not only are they low carb, but they're also really high in protein and healthy fats. Another reason to absolutely love them. Almond flour can be a little on the expensive side, so I always like to buy mine at the bulk food store. That's where you get the most affordable almond flour. So to my almond flour, I'm going to be adding some baking powder, and I'm actually adding quite a bit of baking powder in this recipe. Because almond flour is quite dense, you need a lot of baking powder to sort of get that really good lift and fluffiness that a biscuit is traditionally known for. I also want to add a good helping of salt to this because these are savory biscuits after all. And then I'm just going to get in here with a whisk and give that all a good mix up. The other great part about whisking the ingredients at this point is that you can break up some of those clumps of almond flour because it does tend to sort of clump together. Next, I want to go ahead and add my wet ingredients to my dry ingredients, and I'll just give that a quick stir. And at this point, we are ready for our mix-ins. Now, I have made these biscuits about 100 different ways because it's so versatile, but this version is my current fave. It's a mixture of crumbled turkey sausage as well as some shredded white cheddar cheese, so a nice sharp cheddar. Now, I love turkey breakfast sausage, but you could go ahead and use pork here instead. I just like to remove it from its casing and then cook it in a skillet on the stove until it's no longer pink. I like to crumble it up using the side of my spoon so it's in nice small bits, and then I'll add it right to my dough. Next, I've got some shredded white cheddar. White cheddar just has that really sort of potent flavor that I absolutely adore over sort of like a milder sort of yellow cheddar, which is why I really like it in this recipe because the cheddar flavor totally comes through. And then the final step is just going to be adding a good sprinkle of freshly chopped chives. You could also do this with green onion if that's what you have on hand. And then I'll just fold all of that together. As soon as that dough is all mixed up, I'm gonna go ahead and form my biscuits. Now to form our biscuits, I always recommend using an ice cream scoop like this one. I love an ice cream scoop because it keeps these really uniform and it shapes them into little dome-shaped biscuits. It's totally up to you, but it really just keeps them nice and consistent. And I'm just going to drop each one of my biscuits onto a parchment-lined baking sheet. Now, you have 2 options when it comes to freezing these biscuits. You can either freeze them in dough form and then bake them fresh just before you're ready to enjoy them, or you can bake them completely and then freeze them and just reheat them. I'm going to be baking them first and then freezing them today because I want to make sure they are ready to go when I have a craving for them after the baby comes and I'm just hungry. Now, I don't have the energy for preheating the oven or any of that. I just want to heat it and eat it. You know what I mean? Heat it and eat it. My oven is preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to get these into the oven for between 10 and 12 minutes or until they're nice and golden and fully cooked through. And oh my gosh, guys, I could not be more excited. Now, when these beauties come out of the oven, they are absolutely incredible. How amazing did these look? And seriously, they smell even better. I cannot wait to have one. Now the final step just before serving these is optional, but always delicious. I like to take just a little bit of melted butter and a touch of garlic powder. And what I do is I just brush the top of each of them with a little bit of that mixture. Now, of course, you can do this just before serving. So if you are gonna store these in the freezer, don't butter them until after they've been reheated. But my gosh, guys, this just takes them from like a 10 to an 11.5. These are a protein-packed breakfast that you will not be able to get enough of. I love them because they're really flavorful and also super tender and chewy. You'll wanna have them for breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner, midnight snack, any time of day, honestly. I hope you'll give these yummy make-ahead biscuits a try for yourselves and that you'll love them as much as I do. If you do, be sure to tweet me, Instagram me, or Facebook me a photo because you know how much I love seeing your kitchen creations. Keep in mind, this recipe, like all of my recipes, is featured on healthymealplans.com, my amazing meal planning site that allows you to browse more than 1,000 recipes, drag and drop them into your weekly meal plan, and then automatically generates your grocery list for the week. And finally, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe because there is lots more deliciousness where this came from.